Good evening and welcome to television.
Those are the words of Bruce Gyngell, the first face and voice to appear on television in Australia back in 1956, just in time for the Melbourne Olympic Games. And a new industry was born. If you wanted to show Australia your big idea in entertainment or education or the news, you'd pitch your idea to the TV network and they'd let you know if they were interested in developing it with you to create content for their television statement, a single channel that would go out to however many people were potentially viewing that TV station at the time. And of course, there were a few limitations back then. You had to be mates with the guys that were in the boardroom to start with, which meant you had to be white, you had to be male, and have a strong appeal to the white males in control of that industry at the time. After all, you're talking about 1956. Diversity wasn't exactly a buzzword back then. But fast forward to Valentine's Day 2005, and a scrappy little garage startup called YouTube launched itself as a platform to be your own TV station. Imagine that, broadcasting yourself and whatever you like to show or talk about or to comment upon to the whole world who could receive it. And media has not quite been the same way ever since, and neither has business. Because over the course of a generation, we went from having to impress gatekeepers in suits in high-rise office blocks of our worthiness to be seen on their sacred, highly valuable network, to those networks now becoming less and less relevant, to the point where it costs actually more to advertise on radio in 2024 than what it does to advertise on television. And that's because every business now is not just a company, but a media company. And every business is now in the business of content creation. And this is the fifth and final of the first loves of my work life, the access to and the ability to build your own audiences with your own content on your own terms and in your own time. And while it sounds like an amazing opportunity, it's also something that most businesses simply don't have the time or resources for. Quite simply, it's an opportunity that most of us can't afford to take. That hardly sounds like a ringing endorsement from someone who just told you that content creation is one of the great loves of his professional life, right? Yet, content creation, like any other skill, is something that you can learn. It can be practiced and can be turned from a chore into one of the most joyful parts of your week. And you don't have to be Mr. Beast or Casey Neistat or Kylie Jenner to do it well. After all, if you're watching this, I very much doubt that you have millions of customers to serve. In fact, for most of you, just a few more customers will be enough to make a substantial difference in your business. Does that sound about right? Well, the good news is that getting a few new customers doesn't require an audience of millions. Just start where you're the most comfortable and expand it from there. If you are comfortable writing, then write text posts on LinkedIn because they still get seen there. If you like images or photography, or just share them on Facebook or Instagram. And if you consider yourself a good speaker, maybe podcasting could be for you. And if you don't mind putting yourself in front of a camera and learning a few things about light and sound and editing, then video is probably the ultimate aim of where you would want to be with content creation. And of course, you don't have to do all this on your own. There's a whole world of people out there who can help you out too. And it's not as important to be polished and professional as it is to be present on the platforms. What's most important is that you have a go. There's still room for that. I'm Dante St. James.